Well, I made my announcement on Monday, and the organization has not listened. Go figure. But can Ron Rivera save his job and this season? Probably not, but let's find out. We'll talk about that next.
Yay. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Or it's the Wednesday night show for us, which is a little bit different because normally we are here on Thursdays doing our pregame preview, but we're playing ball tomorrow. Thursday night football, one of two primetime games left we have for the season. Am I correct? Bears tomorrow night and then Philly in November? Monday night?
In November on Monday.
All right. And that is that. So welcome to the show, everyone. And if you haven't already done so, please go like and subscribe this YouTube channel. Share with your mom, your friends, your uncles, your lady friends, your boyfriends, whoever.
Your side piece, your main piece, the chick with the club foot at the 7-Eleven that you're banging, whoever.
Whatever you want. We're also on all audio podcast platforms. You can find us. Just hit the link tree that's down in the description everywhere. Apple, Google, Spotify, Odyssey, and wherever else you can get your podcast, your preferred podcasts platform. So it's episode 153. This is an Intel episode with the Bears, the Chicago Bears, coming into 2022. Chicago Bears. I mean, they're
the Bears.
The Bears. 2-3.
The
third in the NFC North. We're 1-4. Last in the NFC East. But before we go no further, it's your boy Steve. That was Phil on the intro, and we got Dev, the trio, kicking it with y'all tonight. So let's just get right into it. Who are the 2022 Bears? Let's talk about it.
No better or worse than we are. They're pretty trash.
Yeah.
They're pretty trash. They have a pretty trash quarterback that I told y'all was pretty trash. And everybody's like, no. And I said, yes. Nothing about this team impresses me. Really, nothing about the 2022 Bears impresses me. Now, I granted somebody out in the audience going to say, "Ooh, you're a Commanders fan. You can be everything should impress you." Well, no, not this Bears team. They don't impress me at all. I mean, that doesn't mean necessarily that we're going to go in there and kick their ass because we haven't played well, especially on offense, but I don't think they're any good. They're in a situation like us where they're trying to figure out if they're going to go up, down, left, right.
A-B select start.
30 men, let's go. Oh, Contra code. Coast.
Oh, no.
Konami code.
Coast. Konami, that's right. It also worked for that game, if you remember the game called Life Force.
It works on every Konami game. That's why it's called the Konami code.
Does it work on every Konami game? Because I have a couple.
They plug it after any Konami game after Contra.
I'm going to have to go try that.
Yeah.
I'm bad. What was Bad Dude's name? It was
fuck, man,
it was a blonde hair dude and a brown hair dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that
up. It was like a Double Dragons knockoff.
It was Great Value Double Dragon.
Are we really going to call Contra Great Value Double Dragon?
No, we're talking about Bad Dudes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, Contra is in its own league of its own.
Right.
Let's be real.
I thought
that come back out, by the way.
What blasphemy am I listening to right now?
I was raised on Contra.
Yeah.
Never beat the game without the 30-man code, though.
Never I could beat it without dying, bro. I could beat it without dying.
Never even came close. Not me.
I could beat it without dying back in the day, bro.
Could not do it.
Yeah, but did you have to put it in the code?
Nah, beat it without using one man. It was nothing. It's easy after you beat it a couple times.
Yeah.
You get the rhythm down. Oh, yeah.
Get the rhythm. Back to the Bears. So Phil was going over, nothing impresses him. Their offense, 31st in yardage. 31st in yardage. How you know what I mean? Like that just it's like it's setting up for us to is this the comeback game? I don't know. 31st in yardage. Their defense
For
is
who?
22nd in yards allowed. Points scored, their offense is 27th. Their defense points allowed is 15th, so a little bit more respectable. Passing offense, they're dead last in attempts, dead last in yardage, 30th in touchdowns with only 3. Their defensive passing stats are much better. They're 9th in yards and 4th overall in touchdowns allowed. And they have 5, they're 10th overall in interceptions given. So their defense is much better than their offense. Let's put it that way. When we're just doing comparisons to where we sit.
Sounds familiar.
It does. It sure does. Our offense is sitting at 19th in total yards, 26th in total points scored, 3rd in overall passing attempts. We'll talk about that in a second. 10th overall in yards. And our defense is 17th in yards allowed, 25th in points for, 19th in passing yards allowed, 14th in rushing yards allowed. So it's kind of sad to see that we are 3rd in the league in overall pass attempts. I don't like that. Why? Is it because we were down so much all those times? Terrible. There's no committing to the run. Oh, in rushing attempts, we're ranked 28th in the league. I don't know. I don't get it. If y'all could explain it to me, I would greatly appreciate it.
Well,
penalties.
There's a simple reason for this. Have any of y'all ever seen the movie Euro Trip?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bratislava.
I don't remember it, but I have seen it.
So, in the movie Euro Trip, there's a song, and it really describes our offensive coordinator. When it comes to running a competent offense, Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. Dev, just YouTube Scotty doesn't know sometime. Matt Damon sings it, and he's singing it to his girlfriend. And the girlfriend at the time was the girlfriend from
Kristen Cruick
from Smallville. Smallville. She was Lana Lang in Smallville. Very crazy cameo, by the way, for those two in that movie. Matt Damon. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Yeah, that's well put.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty does not know how to run a competent offensive game plan.
Yeah. Does not. Well, let's look at some player stats here. Let's just go ahead and bring these up on the screen while we're talking about it. Let's look at Justin Fields. Let's look at the offense and see what we think about some of these people. Now, how about that right there? Justin Fields, 2-3, 55.7%, which is rancid, by the way. Terrible.
He's only had one game where he's thrown over 10 completions.
It's crazy.
That's insane, bro.
That's in the membrane. Completely insane.
That's Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Tebow-ish, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Except Tim Tebow was winning.
I'm still trying to figure out how are they favored by one point.
Us.
I think we are favored by 1.
Nope.
Look that up
we're
again.
favored by 1,
think
but
we're
to take
favored by
away the
1.
home field advantage, we're favored by 2.
I think look it up again. I could have sworn I saw it right before we got on.
Now my information could be dated. I think I looked it up the other day. All right, let's go. NFL.
Oh no! Now we're 1-point favorites.
Right. I looked it up right before we got online. That's why I was
like,
I swear I thought I saw it wrong, but
that's changed because on Monday we were 1-point underdogs.
We were dogs, 1-point dogs. That's right.
I think the world anticipated Wentz maybe not playing.
We still don't know if he's going to play.
I think he's questionable. He was doubtful.
Nah, he'll be out there. Well, speaking of that, we'll talk about injury in a second. Let's go. So you see Justin Fields, 679 yards. That is just putrid, averaging 135 yards a game. It don't get much worse than that. He's been sacked 18 times,
Damn.
3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 7.7 yards per attempt. Whew, man, like I said, I'll say it again. If this isn't setting us up to be the victors, I don't know what is.
He gonna get sacked about 20 times tomorrow.
I know. What up, Marcus? Go follow Marcus's group sports group view too.
Have we heard anything about Chase Young coming back, man?
We have not. That's a negative.
All I know is that despite what some people on Twitter want, he wants to come back.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing, too. I just hold him out the rest of the year. Well, what good does that do except make him even more rusty?
I mean, you could get him some spot plays. You could get him, you know what I mean?
You don't have to run him 100% of the snaps either. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Here's their, let's look at their rushing offense. Khalil Herbert, 328. They, I believe David Montgomery was the original starter, but apparently not.
Khalil Pervert, I'm sorry.
787 yards. Total rushing yards for the Bears. Khalil Herbert, 3 rushing touchdowns himself. Justin Fields leads the team with 194.
I think Montgomery still is their starting running back. I think he was hurt, right?
He was hurt, but he's started 4 games though, so.
Yeah, I think he is still their starting running back. I think he just got hurt like the last 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, I had him on my fantasy team.
Watch why they're running with Khalil Pervert.
Yep. There is another St. Brown, Equanimeous St. Brown.
Equanimeous.
And he is
cousin,
Amon-Ra
brother,
St. Brown's
brother.
Yeah.
Their dad is Mr. Universe, man.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a bodybuilder.
Okay. And let's look at their receiving yardage. Darnell Mooney, 10 receptions, 170 yards. 10 receptions in 5 games.
And that's your leading receiver.
He's going to make 10 receptions on
now, don't get me wrong. Darnell Mooney's a good receiver. He's a good receiver.
He's just on an awful team.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of this guy I know last year, Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Great receiver on an awful team.
Just
was an awful quarterback.
Still an awful team.
I mean,
yeah, but now he's got a good quarterback.
These guys are completely limited by Justin Fields. And it's funny, I want Justin Fields to do well. I think he's still going to do well, but he's in year 2. And he just hasn't turned it on yet. And I don't know, he still gets these rave reviews from a lot of people that work with him, people coming out of the Elite 11. It just I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Bears ain't got no talent.
Yeah, Cole Kmet. I thought
ain't got any talent. I've told you all this when they drafted him. I said you're gonna be disappointed. That entire quarterback class was so overrated, and no one wanted to hear it.
Man, I just don't want to pick no more Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't care if we're in position to pick that guy next year. Do not pick Ohio State quarterback, man. It never works out, bro.
I don't even know who the Ohio State quarterback is right now. I'm watching the games.
C.J. Stroud is.
C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
Yeah,
you'll hear his name a lot.
I wouldn't get Bryce Young.
He's clearly going number 2 at the least. So, but please don't go number 2 to us. I don't trust the Ohio State quarterbacks, man. They're like Alabama quarterbacks.
They're like Alabama running backs minus Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
they never pan out. Alabama defenders is a different story.
I don't know.
Najee,
Mark Ingram's an Alabama back. He turned out pretty good.
He is. Maybe just Trent Richardson just ruined it so bad.
Yes.
For everyone.
Because people thought Trent Richardson was going to be God.
Yeah.
Yarborough dude was Scarborough, whatever. He's decent.
Look at their receivers, man. I thought Cole Kmet, the tight end, was going to be a beast. Watched him in the preseason. Oh my gosh. Super athletic. Apparently he's doing nothing. Nine catches.
Got nothing quarterback.
They had one guy with 10 with Mooney and a running back with 9 and Cole Kmet tight end with 9. You know, make them beat you on the ground. I
thought Dante Pettis was great. I thought he was going to be great.
Yeah.
Everybody told me Mooney. I put Mooney on my fantasy team.
Oh, you're limited by. I had Mooney too.
Everybody assumed he get all the catches.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at that class, though, Phil, it was the class with Trevor Lawrence, who's, I guess you could say he's slightly trending upwards.
Not after that Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, Zach Wilson, which who knows? We don't know anything about him yet. He's not doing very well. Justin Fields, Trey Lance, injured. Don't know. I mean, the most successful one is Mac Jones, and
Mac Jones is now about to lose his starting job to Bailey Zappi because
what school did he go to? Western Kentucky, here in Bowling Green. Western Kentucky. Let's go.
And then they had those other quarterbacks that I was kind of liking. I was kind of,
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills is turning out to be a pretty good quarterback for Houston. He's much better than people gave him credit for. And
I don't think he's any worse than any of the other guys who were drafted.
Kyle Trask, I have no idea where he is right now. And then Kellen
Mond. What did happen to Kyle Trask?
Who knows?
In Miami or
people were mocking him to our team for the longest time, if you remember. Kyle Trask, and then Kellen Mond.
I remember because when we interviewed Matt Jones, we asked him what he thought of Trask because a lot of people thought he was going to come here.
Yeah. Oh man. Marcus says I agree with Phil. Everyone hyped up the Justin Fields quarterback class. Yeah, it was definitely underwhelming. There's another class. The class with Jared Goff reminds me of had that same vibe.
Jared Goff might end up being the best out of all of them.
That was Jared Goff. That was
the pick in that draft.
The dude that went to the Packers, who went into the Cardinals, and then the Dolphins, and then UCLA. I forget his name.
plays on Tampa Bay.
Oh, Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen. That was the Josh Rosen.
He didn't go to the Packers.
No, he plays on Tampa
I'm sorry.
Bay. Kyle Trask on Tampa Bay.
Kyle Trask on Tampa Bay? Okay, yeah, he'll never play.
I know he's 6'6".
It just he reminded me of Aaron Rodgers, like his douchey attitude. They were comparing him to Aaron Rodgers coming out of same school, that whole thing.
Well, same area.
Yeah.
Because Rodgers was a Cal guy, not a UCLA.
Ah, he was. Okay. Cal Bears and UCLA
Bruins.
Blue and gold versus blue and yellow. Dark blue
yeah.
And yellow. Yeah.
Not really original out there in California, are they?
Guess not. Let's move on to their defense. Now, they do have a guy who we thought we should trade for earlier this season.
Still do.
Mr. Roquan Smith. Leading the team in tackles. If you remember early in the season, he was requesting to be traded from the Bears. Nobody knows. I don't know why. Nobody knows why.
Money. They didn't want to give him any money.
So him and Payne are in the same boat. They're both on their 5th-year options, and their both contracts are expiring at the end of this season. So they didn't want to re-sign him to a longer deal. That's right. 54 tackles, 31 solo tackles, only half sack. But as far as a linebacker goes, I don't know if he plays middle or outside.
He's a middle linebacker.
He's a middle linebacker. Okay, so he just must be pretty damn athletic. This defense is not very good either. We're just looking at the names here. I know Brisker's pretty good. He got some pretty good reviews coming out of school, but I don't see anyone else on this defense who we should be worried about. Am I crazy?
They really stole one in against San Francisco. They shouldn't have won at all. But it was that.
Trey Lance is the only other quarterback worse than Fields. That's how.
Yeah.
That's how that worked.
Lance
is the only quarterback worse than Fields, man.
They did win their first game of the season.
It's like a hurricane out there too, by the way, in that game.
Yeah, 19-10. That was the hydroplane game, right?
Yeah.
19-10, and then they lost to the Packers 10-27. Beat the Texans 23-20. Lost to the Giants 12-20, and lost to the Vikings 22-29. So they've only scored 23 points as their highest.
I feel like it's going to be an easy bet to pick. It's definitely going to get the spread. Washington definitely should win the spread on this.
Here, I'm going to do a little comparison here because this needs to be looked at as far as stats go, and because this is going to be a good comparison right here.
What's that?
The Bears have gone over 300 yards twice this entire season.
In total offense?
In total offense.
If who's only thrown over 200 yards once.
363 against the Texans, which is like playing a Division II college team right now. 304 against the Giants, and 271 against the Vikings.
And only one of those he threw over 200 yards.
Fields had
passing in.
48 yards passing in the
Right.
Packers game.
He's only had over 200 yards passing once in his career as last game ever.
Look at it. Look at that.
He hasn't had a passing. He hasn't had a game over 10 completions.
Our offensive output this year. Listen to this: 390 against Jacksonville, 396 against Detroit, 240 against the Eagles, 297 against Dallas, and 385 against the Titans. And anyone who wants to say our defense hasn't really improved, listen to this. We gave up 383 to Jacksonville week 1, 425 to Detroit the week 2, 400 to the Eagles week 3. Week 4, 279 to Dallas. Week 5 to the Titans, 240.
We're definitely trending upwards the last 3 games.
Upwards, and God, could that have not come at a better time?
You know who's a big? You know, I think was a big piece of that though, Phil.
If we had forced turnovers, the team would be 3-2, 2-3 at least.
I think Cam Curl had a big role in that.
Yeah,
him coming back. I don't necessarily.
Phil Bottom's been playing pretty tough too. He makes some stupid.
He has. It was some crazy NFL next gen stats. They look at like the pass rush success rates. Was it Casey Toohill or James Smith Williams was like second in the league behind Nick Bosa in some insane stat. And FAO Bada was also had a high percentage rate for successful rush percentage, but their snaps are so low. It's crazy. Like why wouldn't they get more? But I get it. We have a very stout defensive front, so there's not a lot of playing time and opportunities, and they've been very healthy too. So
they've been stout because they've been rotating these guys too.
Yeah.
So if Effie Obata and Casey Toohill are both having high success rates, and they're rotating at the same position, cool with me. Yeah.
And hey, whatever we need to do, we need to find replacements for the losses that we had in Ioannidis and Settle. And hey, if these guys keep it up, maybe they're it. Who knows? Who knows?
Here's where so this is where I have a conundrum. Because I came out here Monday and I said fire Scott Turner, fire Ron Rivera. The problem is I am a fan of this team, and I'm going to root for them hard to win. So let's put it this way. So in case anyone wants to call me a hypocrite for this, yeah, I came out strong with that statement. But as long as they are not unemployed by this franchise, I'm going to root for them to get their heads out their asses. I want this team to win. I'm not going to ever say, no, I want them to lose so these guys lose their job. No, I want them to lose their job because they went out there, tried, and failed because they suck. All right? But I also pray they just stop sucking. That's the other option. So, yes, I am still going to be at the bar tomorrow. By the way, I'm going to a bar that is a notable Eagles bar in my town.
Ouch.
But they serve authentic Philly cheesesteaks, like really authentic. So, yeah. And they have Genesee cream ale. So I'm going to be nice and drunk by the end of the night. Hopefully I'm drunk and happy. We shall see. But I feel like that I'm going to sit out here and talk about how we can win this game 2 days after saying I want the head coach and offensive coordinator fired.
Sometimes that's just how it works.
Yeah, you know? I mean, just because I want these guys fired doesn't necessarily mean that I want the team to lose. Not how this operates.
Yep. Looking at injuries, excuse me. Oh my goodness! As of today, Bears have 3. Nothing crazy. N'Keal Harry, the original Patriots draft pick, and they just got tossed around and moved around. But going on to the Commanders, let's go ahead and flash their injuries they had. Their injury report. Quite interesting. Check it out. There's a tweet from Nikki Javala. This is as of today. These are the people who are confirmed who are out. No Jahan Dotson. No Percy Butler. No Sam Cosmi. Logan Thomas, Jonathan Williams, and William Jackson. I wonder if Jonathan Williams is really hurt, like seriously hurt, or is this we got to make room for B-Rob and you're the fourth man out?
No, I believe he was nicked up. That may have been why he didn't get more burn against Dallas.
Well, I remember he got injured, and I heard it in the game. Yeah, they called it. The commentators mentioned it, but Marcus says, me and Phil have the same idea, but unfortunately our coaches are too stubborn to make adjustments. That's right.
Great
William Jackson didn't travel at all.
I think that William Jackson deal is
check this out though. Ruled out for Thursday's game. Didn't travel with the team. Source confirmed. He's been on the injury report with a back issue. Limited in practice until Tuesday. I don't know if this is something bigger. There's some
no, because here's the thing. He said back. Ron said I benched him.
So yeah, there you go. It could be something completely different that we don't know.
They're using the back as an excuse.
Yeah, it happens.
Either that or they're just like pouring pro-inflammatories into his back when they do those cortisone injections. We don't know why it's not working.
It's common.
We'll have to sit you out another game, William Jackson.
Well, Dev,
wild goose.
I'll go to you, Dev. I know this is going to be slim pickings here. Who do we got to be looking out for from the Bears, man? Offense and defense. It's
Fields.
Dig deep.
Fields.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. I mean, he doesn't beat you with his arm, but he makes enough plays to keep him in a few games. You know, what was it? Didn't they play the Eagles and almost beat them? Am I tripping? They beat a team that we played and almost won, right? Who
they lost to the Vikings, lost to the Giants.
What was the scores of those games?
Beat the Niners, beat the Texans, beat the Packers. Score right, what?
Beat the Packers, beat the Niners. Are we beating them? If we play the Packers or the Niners right now, will we be underdogs those games?
Oh, of course.
They beat the Texans and they beat Niners.
Yeah, beat the Niners, beat the Texans, lost to the Packers, Giants, and Vikings.
I'm saying. I mean, I'm not putting anything past anybody, man. But I think the guy we have to watch out for is Fields, man. His legs are going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Just like Hurts' legs were a problem. He didn't have to run on this.
I don't know if you saw highlights. Like he made a beautiful throw to Mooney in the end zone last week. Right. That game versus the Packers. Beautiful pass, but it's like
we blow coverages, man. So if they catch us,
that's what I'm saying.
If he catches one-on-one and he gets loose with his legs out of a sack that we should have had, and just goes a guy running down the middle of the field, and over McCain and Fuller's arms every time. It seems like one of those guys is always the recipient of a burn. Hell, at least Jackson pass interferes.
Well, you know what else worries me? You said Justin Fields, but all of this overreacting and over adjusting of the Tua rule that they enacted last week for the protections of the quarterback. Yeah. I mean, I think they overcompensated way too far. You watch that. You guys see the Derek Carr Chiefs, the tackle who basically took the ball out of Derek Carr's hand, fell, but used his arm to brace, and they gave it they called that roughing the passer. Like, how, in what world is that roughing the passer? And so with Fields as a mobile quarterback, I worry that maybe he wiggles in a pocket and someone tackles him and he might fake an arm throwing motion and bam, roughing the passer.
What I also couldn't figure out is how come they couldn't replay that as a fumble and then determine that was a fumble.
It's not built into the rules yet. It's like something needs to be modified.
But you can challenge a fumble though.
I think you can only challenge the PI, or did they take that away?
No, you can challenge
took that
fumble
away real quick.
Yeah, I think 1 year, right?
Thank
1 year.
God.
You can challenge a fumble though.
Fumbles, if it's ruled a fumble, it's automatically challenged. If it's not ruled a fumble, you can challenge it.
Right. So I wonder why they didn't challenge this as a fumble.
What's crazy is that you can now challenge an incomplete pass. Because we did. We challenged the Cam Sims catch.
Yeah. But it was ruled. Yes, it was ruled out of bounds. That's right.
It was ruled incomplete. They said ball hit the ground, which I don't know. That hand looked like it was underneath.
It was under, but as he rolled and came through the roll, it was definitely moving around. And then he gets up and throws the ball on the ground. I'm like, you're not helping your case, bro. Like, just hold on to the ball.
And the thing about that is, it's called an incomplete pass on the field, so it has to be irrefutable evidence that it was not.
And it just was not.
And I think that's I think, but I was trying to figure out that fumble in the Raiders game. Why didn't they challenge the fumble though? That it was a fumble and not a. It would have overturned the being a quarterback.
I don't know. I think they've gotten so convoluted. I mean, look,
it was irrefutable fumble. There was no way that wasn't a fumble though. They took it out of his hand.
Here's an example.
If that was an interception, hell, he threw it.
I don't think everyone knows the rules. When did they get rid of in the grasp?
For quarterbacks?
Yeah, because apparently that's no longer a rule. I found that out when Montez Sweat was holding Ryan Tannehill for like 4 seconds, and he was in the grasp and Tannehill threw a first down.
You remember Chase Young's hit on what's the name last year? Ryan from the Falcons. Nailed him. He didn't fall, and they thought the play was dead. Everybody slowed down and shit. He threw a touchdown or a long pass.
Yeah, because he pulled up.
Yeah. He hit him, but he thought he grabbed him, but he thought it was whistle dead, so he let him go.
Well, and then you see now that like Lamar, I was watching play Lamar. Lamar just got held. He wasn't tackled, and they blew the whistle. So it's like, where's the consistency?
Yeah,
it's tough. Marcus says,
and I know everyone's giving Troy Aikman shit, but his comment was so right.
What's that
about? They need to take off the dresses off the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I know it's 2022. You can't say that, but you can. You have to because it's true.
I mean, you can keep in the no helmet to helmet. Like that's reasonable, right?
Can we also define helmet to helmet as not the quarterback tucking his head down?
Correct. Like
they also can call it on offense. They have done it several times. Not a lot, but it's happened where guys dip their head down to take to make a blow. And
I do kind of agree with the no, like below the knees one is. I don't know if it's the right rule. It's protection.
It has to be targeting below the knees.
Yeah, that's a good rule to have.
Just trying to climb after the quarterback.
Yeah,
no.
But if I'm going for your knees as a quarterback, yeah. And then other than that, it's all fair game. You get blindsided, you get front-sided. It's fair game. You get hit from the back.
I think personal fouls like that should be challengeable.
I also think that I swear to God, our team gets hit more with blindside blocks that are somebody getting hit in the shoulder than any other team in the history of creation. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So
but anyway, we're off track.
Yeah, it's okay. That's what
Bears to watch on offense: Herbert,
Khalil Herbert, and Justin Fields. What about defense?
Herbert's averaging almost 6 yards a carry. Now, granted, our run defense is pretty good. And say what you want about Henry going over 100 yards, he earned that 100 yards. He averaged less than 4 yards a carry.
He did 30-something carries, right? 34,
28. I think it was 28 for 102.
Yeah,
which is not. I mean, that's a Derrick Henry game. That's a Derrick Henry slog. I mean, he didn't really. He there was no long runs, nothing. It was all earned. I don't think Herbert is Derrick Henry. So as long as he doesn't DeAndre Swift either, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
But he is averaging almost 6 yards a carry, 5.9 yards per carry. That's healthy, and I think that's what the Bears are going to have to try to lean on. They're going to try to make something happen with that guy to keep the pressure off of Fields. You put this game in Fields' hands, he's going to lose.
Yep, and that's what we got to do. I think, like you guys said it, Herbert, Fields. I'll say Mooney, just so we cover all the bases. You check Mooney. There's no one for him to throw to. I'm slowly coming out of the rut of our linebackers not being able to cover tight ends because we haven't seen it in a while, which is pretty awesome. We haven't really had a tight end shit on us this year, which is good. It's refreshing. But yeah, and then defense, Roquan Smith. I feel like he's our only playmaker on defense that we have to look out for. Not a whole lot of other stuff going on the defensive side of the ball. Sack totals, they have 2 people with 2. And then they have one guy with 1.5 and then 2 guys with 1. So Robert Quinn's still playing. If you remember the Robert Quinn, like the Robert Quinn that was on the Rams forever, he's still playing. Been in the league forever. 32 in his 2011 11th year Well, Robert Quinn, nickname Black Lightning, Elroy, or Gumby, according to his bio. Black Lightning. Man. Oh, he bounced around St. Louis, the Rams, Miami, Dallas, last 3 seasons in Chicago. So
our defense is averaging almost 3 sacks a game.
Pretty good.
You think we might be able to get to old Justin Fields?
I certainly hope so.
Justin Fields to me is like great value Jalen Hurts, who himself is like equate version. He's like an equate Lamar Jackson. So
yeah. What's up, Paulie? Thanks for joining us, man. He said we can't undervalue any player and team. They're 2-3. Yes, and by sheer record, they're better than us by wins and losses. Can't argue that at all.
Well, when we get our automatic W against the Texans like everyone else does.
Hey, you know what? Good teams do routine things routinely. I don't know if this is a routine win for us before the season. If you would have asked me that, yeah, I would have been like, yeah, we'll beat the Bears. We're supposed to beat the Bears, of course. But who knows so far? Marcus said with Andrew Norwell, the Bears might have 4 sacks. They might double their sack total that they did last year, last couple weeks. I hope not, man. Don't say that.
What happened?
Can I ask a question? And I want an honest answer because I haven't been able to figure this out. Is the Chris Paul hype simply because of the fact that Norwell is ass, or is there something I don't know about this kid that everyone knows that he's apparently this godsend at guard?
It's probably because he shares the name of another well-known guard in the NBA. That's all I can equate to it because I don't see the hype either outside the name.
I don't either, but everybody's like, it's time to put in Chris Paul. I'm like, really? It took Sadiq Charles to his 3rd season to be what he is now. And I don't see Chris Paul as anything different than Sadiq Charles.
I mean, at this point, it can't be any worse than Andrew Norwell. So I don't care. Do it.
They turn back in. That'll be worse.
Yeah, he can definitely be better than Andrew Norwell. Noah had
that's
like
pretty
5
bad,
or 6 bad. Noah had 5 or 6 bad snaps, and all of them were just in a row.
That was Nick Martin.
He played like 70-something snaps. He played like 70-something snaps, though. You know what I'm saying? 4 of them were just horrific. But, you know, you fuck around and put Trey Turner out there, man, you might have 60 bad snaps, man. I ain't see one good snap that guy was in, bro.
I honestly see, and this I don't know if you can do this in the NFL now. I would have come in Monday and I was okay because apparently Monday they had a walkthrough, right?
Yeah.
And I would have said, okay, Martin, we're gonna do a little something special. You're gonna get down here and you're gonna do 500 snaps out of shotgun. Hey John, hey Deron, I want you to line up over him. They're going to both hit you, and you have to get those snaps off perfect every time.
Yeah.
I would have done some shit like that because first of all, I'm that guy. Don't have me coach your kids if they're below the age of 12.
But practice.
That you need something like that.
I don't know how he's just be a damn center, man. How you get on this team and you can't even snap
You're
ball?
A center. It's okay if Schweitzer did that, which he did. I forgive that because Schweitzer's not listed as a center. He was a 3rd string backup. He was the emergency center.
Yeah.
How are you a pro center and you blow that many snaps?
Yeah. Paulie said Norwell's ass, he was blocking in self-defense. So Paulie said the same thing about Cole Holcomb when his tackling was in self-defense before, if y'all remember that a couple weeks ago.
Cole Holcomb don't tackle in self-defense anymore.
He did pretty well, man. I was impressed with him last game. Marcus said, I listened to ESPN 980. They made a point, Rivera's stubborn, to prove a point that he is right. Now, on that note, did you guys see the fact that, so I guess Ron went and apologized to the team about the comments and how they were kind of misconstrued over the team and said, I was just having a bad day. I probably should have said it. I'll read you exactly to what he said. Well, I can't because it's behind a paywall, but I have to go back there and try to get it. Anyways, long story short, he tried to.
Shit, I had a bad day. I
had a bad day. It was misconstrued. That's not what I meant. And all the players were like, "Cool, I got it. Let's move on. Let's move on. All good." He said, and I'll quote this. The original quote was, "I basically told them. I said some things were misconstrued. I didn't present it properly. That's on me." Which is good. He took accountability. So I took accountability, told the guys that I should know better, and I think he said, and shit, I had a bad day.
He did, yeah.
Had a bad day. And he goes, I've been doing this for quite some time, and for me not to finish my thought completely, I just messed up. And so I just told the guys it was on me and it won't happen again. And I think that what he's trying to say, like, these other teams have had at least the same person in the position for a while. And it wasn't like they're better because their quarterbacks are better. That's not what he was trying to say, but that's how it got taken.
But that's actually why I got shitty with Braun.
Yeah,
that's how he got my bad side, because what he said is the exact opposite of what he said last year he was trying to build.
Right.
Yeah. The quarterback, the offense, quarterback. Yeah. Go watch the plug that we made on Phil's comment. It was pretty good. It took me like an hour.
I don't come to these conclusions lightly. I remember things.
But then
I specifically remember because I defended that as, well, they've done that for 2 years. It seems to be what they're trying to do. Build an offense and then get the quarterback as the final piece. You can do it one way or the other. The problem is you can't do it one way and then say it's the other.
Yeah. Paulie said he finished his thoughts, said it out loud. Ron is full of shite. I mean, I hope he's not backtracking. Well, the national media, of course, they only played the sound bit, the first half. Why are you guys?
That was intellectually dishonest.
Of course, it was designed for hot takes. It's a layup. That was a layup.
Could shut his gimpy leg ass up.
And Robert Griffin did the same thing on social media, but he both only focused
Robert
on that.
Griffin could shut his gimpy leg ass up too.
Those first little snippets.
I don't like our former quarterbacks for the most part.
Yeah.
It's like I'm okay with Kirk because Kirk doesn't come out there and say dumb shit.
Yeah, like you like that.
Crazy stuff. Oh, come on, you were shitting that in 2015 like the rest of us.
That. You know what? I can't respect a man who puts foil on his grill to grill. I just can't do it, Kirk.
I feel like Kirk Cousins probably has like those special underwear that Mormons wear to sleep.
I don't know what those are, but I might have to look it up.
Magic underwear.
They call magic underwear. That's
magic underwear
thing. Yeah, it keep you Jimmy from wanting to.
I am. I'm learning about Glock dookies.
Look it up, man. It's special underwear to keep your dingling from wanting vagina, bro.
Yeah. You can't hate Josh Johnson.
No,
That's true.
I don't hate Josh
love
Johnson.
Josh Johnson. I love Josh
after
Johnson.
That season, I was like, I think we should keep this kid around.
We should have.
Phil hated Colt Brennan.
Colt Brennan was the preseason king.
But he was always going to be just a preseason king.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ref the District, our boys Nathan, Trev, and Stoner. Trev had the SWAC. He had the am I SWAC? Who's SWAC? Playing the Showtime little Deion Sanders role over there at the District. So go make sure you go sub up to their channel.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That was a crazy.
Actually, by the way, Marcus Marcus called out Jamin earlier in the season. Jamin's play has stepped up big time.
It has.
So does that mean it was the right thing to do?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Guys respond to having their manhood publicly challenged.
I'm not going to argue with that. Everyone's different. Everyone responds differently.
That's all right. We hear about position flex. All right. In the world of business management, which I am in, there's a thing called personality flex. You have to tailor your method of communication to the learning and information absorbing personality of the person you're trying to communicate to.
Right.
You can't just force them all to learn the way you teach and the way you communicate.
It's not a cookie cutter solution.
It's not, and it doesn't work. And that's something that's very big in the business management world. That's big in coaching too. Some guys, you got to give them the velvet glove treatment. And some guys, you got to drop an iron fist on them.
But a lot of coaches are my way the highway, and it just, I don't know. But like you said earlier, I mean, Carson Wentz is leading the NFC East in touchdowns, and why are we at the bottom of the league, man? I can't get it. I don't understand it. Daniel Jones has thrown 3 touchdowns this season. Cooper Rush 4, Jalen Hurts 4, Carson Wentz 10. We're sitting at the freaking bottom of the NFC East, man. Got to turn it around.
Gunny, man, that's incorrect. Davis is still covering running backs. He did it against Titans. That guy they had who's the third down back they had
on the Titans, number 40 or 41, one of his numbers.
Yeah, the guy that ran a reverse.
He did score
covering him half the day.
Yeah, but I will say we've start. He has not been on wide receivers.
No, that's because he was playing Cam Curl's role.
Yeah,
because he was the next fastest guy.
Although I did see him on CD Lamb 3 plays in a row. Y'all remember that? It was Davis on CD 3 plays in a row, and they threw it to him 3 times, and he caught it. But you can't cover that dude. The linebacker sure as shit ain't gonna cover that dude. There it is, Hilliard. That was the guy, the third down back.
Hilliard.
Yeah.
Davis was covering Hilliard a lot. So,
yeah. Well, hey, all right, let's move to this other segment. So Washington wins if. Dev, we'll start with you. Washington wins if.
Don't turn it over and keep our quarterback upright and don't penalize yourself.
I don't think that's going to be a problem keeping our quarterback upright, given the fact of their defensive lack of sacks and lack of quarterback pressures.
I don't know, man.
You never know. You're right. You never know. We have to do this because I promise you the Giants will come back to the pack. They got to come back to the pack. They have to. It just does not seem sustainable with Daniel Jones's play, and they're 4-1.
They took the ball out of Daniel Jones's hand
and put it in
Saquon Barkley's. Dallas took the ball out of Cooper Rush's hand.
Yeah,
and they put it in the hands of Zeke and Tony Pollard.
Yep. Marcus said, if you listen to sports shows, they're hyping Cooper Rush, Jalen Hurts, and Daniel Jones. Well, the NFC East is the most winningest division in the NFL right now. It's cool. It's cool from an NFC East perspective but I will
especially
also
after this division got shit on for a decade.
You could also make the argument that we are the worst winningest division in the NFL right now. Like, you could say the Giants are probably the worst 4-1 team in the history of any team ever being 4-1.
No, man.
Name a wide receiver on the Giants.
Sterling Shepard.
He's out for the year. Big dog.
There you go.
He don't start no more either. He don't play no more either.
Kadarius Toney injured. Yep. See what I'm saying? Like, they don't have Evan Ingram anymore. I don't even know who their tight ends are. I have no idea. Paulie says Washington wins if Scott Turner falls down the steps and gets a concussion and forgets his playbook.
Damn, son.
Scotty doesn't know.
Let Cal call all the plays.
With him back up in the booth, he might have to take some stairs to get up there unless they have an elevator for the coaching staff. I don't know. Marcus says Washington wins, reduce penalties, pressure defense, or run an efficient, balanced offense. What about you, Dev? Washington wins if.
I already answered.
I'm sorry, Phil. Sorry. Misspoke.
Washington wins if they run a balanced game plan. This does not mean you take the game completely out of the hands of Carson Wentz. He's been your offense. But you divvy that up some. You get some run plays in. You can get creative, but have a run game that looks like your pass game, that looks like your run game. And if we can shore up the offensive line play, I'm not worried about our defense. I'm not. There's no reason to. I already gave you the stats earlier that showed that they're trending upward big time. So I'm more worried about it's all on the offense, which is funny because we began the season thinking the offense was going to be fine, and it was a defense we had to worry about.
Show did.
And hey, first 2 weeks, it looked like that was the case, and then now it's just been turned completely around.
The opposite.
So Yeah, it's all about the offense being balanced and playing professional football and being coached in a professional manner.
Yeah.
Hashtag fire Scott Turner.
I'm going to say Washington wins if, to me, it's mentality. It's the killer mentality. We haven't had it in many games. Last week, clock management, playing soft as baby shit. That halftime, I know you were all about it, Phil. That going into halftime clock management was garbage. A minute 19 left. You don't make one attempt to go down the ball for kickoff. You run the ball, and the clock goes down to 23 seconds. That's horseshit. That's loser mentality. That's playing to lose. Can't do that. 2 timeouts going into halftime, unacceptable. Unacceptable to have 2 timeouts going into halftime. We got to have a killer mentality.
Field goal range. Something.
That's it. You got Carson, live arm. The big plays are out there. We had Deami had already had a big pass early in the game. I mean, and then when you're about, don't let up. If you're beating them, beat their ass even more. Like pummel them into submission. Don't let up. This isn't about sportsmanship. This is football, man. Killer mentality. That's what we got to have. All sides of the ball. It's just got to be there.
For too long, we have been the respect. We've tried to be the respectable guys, as a team, as a fan base. It's always been, but we gotta be professional. Tired of being professional. The Eagles aren't professional. They're assholes. They're assholes on the field. Their fans are assholes off the field. Now, I'm not saying we sink down to Eagles level of subhumanity, but if you're on this team, you have to have a major chip on your shoulder. Yeah. If you're a fan of this team, you have to approach other teams' fans with a chip on your shoulder. I'm not saying start throwing hands immediately, but don't make them feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't make them feel welcome. Just let them know, hey, you're here, but this is our house. Hey, you're here in this bar. You're in my presence.
Yep.
All right? Because I know some people out there, they get into a bar, there's somebody in a green jersey or a blue jersey. They just shut up. And yeah, we're 1-4. Has that stopped either any of the fans of these teams from being what they usually are? 1-4 or 4-1. They're the same.
Yep. Marcus says, I want us to have that Mamba mentality. That's right. All right, fellas.
This defensive line's got it.
They sure do. Let's go into predictions, and we'll close this thing out. Phil, we'll start with you. But hold on.
17-13 Washington.
A low-scoring game. First off, okay, keep that. Right now on CBS Sports Line, it's a pick'em. So the site you said had Washington at -1.
That's Yahoo
the
Sports.
Site I'm looking at CBS has a pick'em, but the over/under is 38. They are not expecting points to be scored.
And I'm taking the under.
That's crazy. So Phil is saying, you said, what did you say your score again, Phil?
17-13 Washington.
Wow.
17-13.
For those listening, put your score down in the chat so we can log
I'm going to go
and respect to them.
37-20 Washington.
Whoa.
37 points?
37 points?
Yeah, I think we do it. Fools go, but I think we do it.
Okay. Last week, earlier in the week, I was still a little salty that we lost. I had a 23-22 Chicago vibe. I'm totally flipping that. I'm saying 24-22 Washington. I think we'll hit the over. I have not looked at Chicago weather for this weekend. It's still relative. The temperature should be relatively cooler Thursday night.
Give me a moment, and I will have an answer for you.
But all signs point to us winning this game. There's no excuse why we shouldn't win this game. Statistically speaking, we are better in every single category. You can't underestimate them.
We're the Washington football team. That's all
we are the Washington football team. We are the Washington Commanders. Anything's possible, but also any given Thursday, we should win this game. We lose this game and we go 1-5. I don't know how much faith I have left in this team. I really, really don't. How much more faith can you have a team at 1-5? I don't know.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be mostly clear. Tomorrow's high is 54, low of 37.
That's fair.
So it'll probably be in the 40s around game time.
All right. Be our guys' first cold weather game. I wonder what our uniform selection is going to be on Thursday night. Not sure. Looking forward to it though.
Well, I think I'll bet you we go all white.
Well, the Bears are going all orange, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're going to that orange theme.
Because a blood stain turns orange if you wash it 3 or 4 times. So we're going to leave them bloody.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn, man, it was morbid as fuck.
Well, Halloween is coming though.
I'm ready to go bear hunting.
Yeah, same.
Let's go bear hunting.
Shoot these bears down, man. Thursday night, kickoff is at 8:30.
8:15.
8:15. It'll be on Amazon Prime.
I'll be at Urgie's Cheesesteaks in Harrisonburg.
My ass will be in my basement couch enjoying this one at home.
Drinking tons of Genesee cream ale and eating some of the best food in the city of Harrisonburg.
Do it. You know, it's funny on Sundays when we have football, you know, my kids have sports. We try to get home football, and it's hard for me to literally sit down and watch every single play of the game because I really want to. But with my kids, it's hard because, you know, I'm helping them doing stuff, trying, you know, playing with them. And sometimes I just miss some pieces. And this will probably be the first game I will have no distractions and I'll get to watch the whole game start to finish uninterrupted.
I want to text the shit out of you then just to make you feel comfortable.
Do it. Do it. I'm excited. So, yeah, fellas, shout outs. Let's close it down real quick and then say our pieces. What you got, Phil or Dev? Any shout outs?
Shout out to whatever's going on with my camera. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, man.
But hey, at least you can hear me. Canon, motherfuckers. I think it's more or less my Thunderport wire.
Updates.
Shout out to my girlfriend. Who?
Oh, hell no. You done turned to a simp. It's over.
Hold on.
Oh, shit. Russell Wilson's on the podcast, everybody. What's going on?
She took that. First of all, I ain't no Russell Wilson. I am not that corny. She took she took Dev's question of who did I get pregnant in stride.
Oh, snap. You never answered it, by the way.
I ain't got nobody pregnant.
That's her name. Nobody is.
Our game stronger than a John Allen bull rush. And this is why we won't get monetized, people.
Yeah.
But, nonetheless, shout out to her. She took that one in stride. I know not all y'all's chicks would take a comment like that in stride. Shout out to everybody who came in chat tonight. Ref District, Marcus, Gunny Man,
Paulie.
And whoever else was in here. I haven't scrolled back a little.
Yeah, Marcus, Ref the District, Nathan Trevin Stoner, Paulie. We had
Gunny Man.
Everybody's doing their podcast tonight. Shout out to everybody who's doing their podcast on Wednesdays.
Wednesday's different. This is not our normal night. Competing with a lot of shows.
Shout out to StreamYard.
Shout out to StreamYard. If you're watching on the replay, thanks for taking in this long, man. We really appreciate you.
The Bears.
For sure. The Bears. Hey, we got to win tomorrow. That's plain and simple. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
If Phil doesn't win, I say Phil, what the fuck? If Ron doesn't win, what happens? Like if it's bad, if it's like
fire Ron, fire.
If it's at least Tennessee bad. If it's
Tennessee was not bad. Tennessee was close.
Fire Ron, fire
Scott,
promote JDR, promote Chris Harris, promote
like Detroit bad, or
if it's like coaching bad, if we like
Philadelphia bad,
or if we go for 2, we should go for the extra point, kind of like if we don't throw a flag out to challenge a catch,
have all 3 timeouts both halves,
right? Like if it's some egregious coaching errors that cost us a game.
Call reverse on 3rd and 30.
I don't know.
We run the ball 6 times and throw it.
I want to see week 1's offense, man. Just one more time.
Well, Marcus says, if we don't, I'm getting drunk this weekend. Later, fam. That's right, Marcus. We appreciate you, bro. On that note, I guess we won't get up out of here. As always, thank you for tuning in. Please go like and subscribe. Go hit the link tree for all the links for audio podcasts. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the post-game recap, which we need to figure out.
Peace and hair grease.
Love, peace, and hair grease. Let your soul glow. Peace and hell.
W.
Beat them Bears. Yay.